Hello everybody. Hey, my name is Anssi Korpilakso and welcome to our Cloud Protection for Salesforce 1.8 release webinar. We are here in Helsinki, our headquarters, sunny Helsinki, I would say. This time of year, we are like, weather outside is like 30 degrees almost Celsius, so it's pretty hot for us. But yeah, I'm here with my dear colleague and friend Dima. So nice to see you here as well.
Hello everybody.
But yeah, I don't think we don't have anything else, but let's start this thing. So like I said, my name is Anssi Korpilakso. I'm leading our technical pre-sales and customer success function, and Dima is kind of the head of the product. But yeah, what do we have agenda today? Basically, we are going to talk about what is new in our new 1.8 Afterburner release. So it was actually pretty big release. There's quite a nice new features. We are not going to do any demos today, but we are going to walk through all the new features with slides. And in the end of this webinar, we have Q&A. So if you have any questions, please ask. And there's a chat window. You can put those. You can drop those questions there. Dima is monitoring those questions, and if we can pick up some good questions during the webinar, we can do that as well. But the main themes in 1.8 release, there are basically the automatic updatability. That's I think the biggest one. Also, there are we have added community login licenses there. And there are also another functionalities and performance improvements around our solution. Also, new B2B brand. So nowadays we are WithSecure, not anymore F-Secure. So F-Secure is still staying there. They're going to focus only consumer products, and WithSecure going to focus with only B2B products. But hey, some changes about Salesforce editions.
Yeah, basically the only change we decided to make with new release is to drop Professional Edition.
Yes.
So far, as we know, we don't have that many customers, or precisely one customer who is using our application on the Professional Edition. But we decided, unfortunately, to drop support for the Professional Edition just for the reason that we want to leverage the capabilities of the Salesforce platform. And we want to improve our capabilities in terms of security and performance, which unfortunately we can't do with the Professional Edition. But we will continue supporting Enterprise, Performance, Unlimited, and Developer Editions as before.
Great. But how about installation? So if you haven't upgraded your solution to 1.8 yet, I think now is the good time to do it. So basically, there are no major changes when you upgrade into your solution to 1.8. Basically, if you have in 1.6 or 1.7 versions, you can do that upgrading manually to 1.8 release. After that, we can give you that automatic updatability, and we're going to talk about a little bit more about that later on. All the previous settings going to be there, so no need to worry about for your settings. And do I forget something else? Do you want to add something there?
No, just to assure you that we did really good job testing upgrade from the previous versions. As Anssi said, that you don't need to worry about the current previous configuration settings. Those would be migrated. As for data that you already have by using our application, those would be also moved automatically. You might have, of course, checked the administration UI for the new settings, because we are introducing at least some improvements in the existing functionality, but that should not take long to verify. And obviously our normal guidance that first, of course, verify the new version in the sandbox environments, and if everything is fine, then please proceed to the production.
Exactly. We also have new brand. So like we said, nowadays we are WithSecure, and our solution name is now WithSecure Cloud Protection for Salesforce. There are some few UI changes here and there, so all the needed kind of windows and pop-ups has been upgraded to new brand, and the solution name nowadays is just Cloud Protection when you are in our solution. But overall, just few visual changes, nothing more than that. But how about our automatic upgradability? So basically, the reason why we introduced that, of course, we wanted that customers are always in our greatest and latest version. Quite often, we can see that, let's say not quite often, but sometimes we can see that, okay, customers creating some support tickets, and we started to looking those tickets, and quite often in those tickets, we actually can see immediately that hey, customer using some old version of our solution, and that bug is already fixed in newer versions, but because they're using older version, they still facing that bug. So always kind of you can use our latest and greatest version. You can also use automatic updatability in your sandbox environment and production as well. And the one thing, after you have updated to 1.8 release, we are basically, it's that feature is already on. So it means that you need to opt out if you don't want to use that solution. So now it's kind of the change what we had before that. Upgrade as a service, that is a service what we provide for some customers, so that was like they needed to opt in, but now we're going to cancel and that upgrade as a service, and nowadays all users and all customers can use our automatic updatability. Do I miss something else? Do you want to add something there?
No, maybe I can also emphasize the fact that we definitely recommend to keep automatic update on, because this way you will automatically receive fixes for the problems that we might actually fix for other customers, and we will of course introduce small improvements here and there. And it's also important from the security perspective that if you are using the latest and greatest version from us, then you will be definitely better protected, because what Anssi said, that this is unfortunately reality, that some customers keep using really old, and it's not like old in terms of the support, but even vulnerable applications that we communicated 2 or 3 years ago. So we really want to make sure that all our customers are protected and they receive automatic updates from us without like being worried that they need to do like some manual work.
Yes, and before we go in the next slide, I can see that there's a question around that, how much time I have, or when I need to kind of update to 1.8 release, how much time I have to, do I have to, when it's going to be like basically end of the life?
Yeah, the existing version we have 1.7. It's still supported, but we communicated that the end of life for this version actually comes in the beginning of July. So we kindly ask customers to start planning the upgrade to 1.8 release. Obviously, the previous version will continue working, so don't expect that the things will be broken after that. But definitely it means that if you encounter any problems with cloud protection for Salesforce application, and then you will reach our customer support, then the immediate advice from our customer support team will be up to upgrade to the latest version, because from the beginning of July, we will stop actually delivering any fixes, including security fixes for the old version. So we will start adding them only to 1.8 and newer.
Exactly. But hey, Dima, how are we going to do that upgrading processes? There are some stages what we are going to.
Yeah, now I can explain a bit more behind the scenes, and maybe it also in the name of the feature. So we call it automatic updatability because it's actually enabling automatic updates for our customers. We invested a lot of time and resources to build the infrastructure internally to make those kind of automatic update packages, and also more importantly to verify them. So as you can see on the slide, the whole process starts actually at the time when we are developing new version or new features. So we apply like different quality assurance criteria to test our applications with different combinations on the different platforms. And once we reach this feature complete phase, we actually start making internal packages. We call them beta packages because we have pretty much like a second copy of our publishing process. So we create the managed packages specifically for our internal validations. Those beta packages we never give out. And with these internal systems we create that, we of course push the new versions automatically, and we verify that upgrades actually succeeds, that the data actually migrated and the new features work as expected after that. So during this internal validation phase, we just make sure that the package is kind of ready for publishing to App Exchange. And if the team basically says that we are good to go, then we proceed to the App Exchange publishing phase, which also requires a bit of kind of security controls, because as some of you actually know, that any application published to App Exchange is supposed to undergo through the Salesforce security review. And once the security review is passed, we basically get that package again through the quick validation on our internal system. So we push the new versions to some of our demo and test environments. And once everything is fine, and then the green light is given by the team, so then we communicate to customers that the new version is available, and then we also include information about the timeline when the sandbox and production rollout will happen. So now, as you can see on the slide, that once the communication is done, we basically take 1 or 2 weeks to start pushing the new version to the sandbox environments. And during that time, we closely monitor our diagnostic mailings list, and then our customer support is on standby mode. So any problems from the customers, they immediately raise to the development team, and then we are capable to investigate those problems. And in case we see some like blockers, we might actually stop the rollout. But if everything goes fine with the sandbox rollouts, then we obviously proceed to the production works. That might also take from 2 to 3 weeks. And during that time, we of course again monitor any exceptions coming from the customer environments or from our customer support. So based on that, as you can see from the overall picture, that from the moment the new version is published to App Exchange, it takes from 4 to 5 weeks before you get that new version to your production environment. Of course, you don't need to wait. You can even like get the new version installed in your sandbox without automatic update. But if you don't have time, then you can rely on automatic update feature.
Yeah, you can always kind of do that manual installation as well. And actually, we have done already one update with this new automatic updatability. So 1.8.1 version is already up. So, and it worked just like it should.
Yeah, now, so Anssi, I see the relevant question on the chat box. I will read this question. If we face any major issues with the new version, is it possible to do a rollback and install the previous version? So this is a very good question, because the whole infrastructure we created is based also on the Salesforce platform or Salesforce ecosystem. So when we push the new versions to the Salesforce environments, we rely on the Salesforce capabilities. And in case the new version cannot be installed on the sandbox or production org, then we will know. It will be reported back to us. But unfortunately, as of today, Salesforce doesn't provide any errors to the customer. So in this particular case, we will know that the upgrade failed. But the good news is that the Salesforce doesn't actually uninstall the previous version. So if automatic update actually fails, you will continue using the previous version. But we will be able at least to find out the root cause. And in certain cases, we might even need to reach the customer and to investigate this problem together. But the thing is, of course, that you don't have this possibility with the Salesforce platform to upgrade, to downgrade from the new version to the previous version. Unfortunately, there were like several requests to Salesforce to make it possible, but unfortunately, no. Salesforce always provides the way to upgrade only to the new version. Of course, one workaround would be to uninstall the new version and install the previous version from scratch. But obviously, we expect that at least everything should work automatically. And then if upgrade fails, we can investigate the problem, make a new version immediately, and then again start pushing it automatically.
Exactly. And after installation, like we already said, automatic update settings, it's enabled by default. So it's already enabled, and under the settings, you can also set it up that what is the weekday when you would like to have that new update, and what is the local time when you would like to see that update. And there's also more details in the help center as well. And yes, of course, after installation, you can see all the notification under the kind of the notification in the alerts in analytics, and also we're going to send some emails to you that hey, your environment is now upgraded. But how about community login license, community login user license?
Anssi, before we go to that, I see another relevant question in the chat box. The question is, when upgrading to 1.8, does the licenses automatically retrieve after upgrade, or do we have to open the case to do so? Basically, you don't need to do anything as long as your license is still valid. Okay. When you upgrade, the application continues with the same license, so no actions is required.
Great. But how about those community login user licenses? We have added some new licensing to our solution.
Yes, at least based on the feedback from some customers who are using Experience Cloud or previously known as Community Cloud. In those cases, when the customer actually has community login users from the Salesforce licensing perspective, we have introduced also our own license type, which is called WithSecure community login user licenses. And with this new 1.8 release, those customers who are buying those licenses, they will be able to see in the user interface how many licenses are available, how many licenses are in use. So this information would be available for the customer, and then we will be able also to clearly communicate if the customer will need to buy more. So for those customers who keep using our applications for several years already, there are no changes in this regard. So basically with 1.8 versions, we will essentially have like 3 different license types: standard user licenses, community user licenses, and now community login user licenses. So they come with the different prices. But Anssi and myself, we are not salespeople, so we are not really selling here. So it's just for you information.
Yes, exactly. And you can see also all the parameters around those license usage and whatnot. But yeah, next one is actually pretty nice. Related record link in URL scan events. So of course, if someone puts some malicious URLs, post some malicious URLs in your Salesforce environment, you're going to get some notifications around that, and security people can immediately go to the analytics and found that hey, here's the event where the malicious URL is. But now under the view button, they can find the related link to that post. So they can easily find the original post, just clicking that view button, and it will go straight to that post. So it will be way easier to find where the malicious link is, and you can easily remove that link as well. So we have had that similar feature in file events. Now we have added that also in URL events as well.
Yeah, this improvement was made based on the feedback from customers who are using URL protection, and specifically from the security people who needs to investigate the security incidents. So previously, before we implemented this change, it was difficult, not impossible, but difficult to find the root cause or figure out where initially that malicious URL was actually used. So now with this improvement, it should be at least very simple for the security people just to open that related record and immediately see where that URL was posted or where it came from first time.
And there are actually few another kind of upcoming features around URL protection in future releases. Exactly. So let's see what we can provide next releases. There are also a few other kind of nice improvements as well. So also every time when you do like you assign licensing or you license or you assign those permission set, it will of course run the background job like it did last time. But nowadays you can find those kind of events in the analytics and under the alert, so you can see how many permissions that you have assigned, how many licenses you have assigned, and whatnot.
Yeah, this change is important for customers with a large amount of users.
Exactly, yeah.
Again, this is based on the feedback from those customers who were reporting problems with assigning either licenses or permission sets. Now it should be easy at least to identify if there are any problems, because like Anssi said, that when you assign either licenses or permission set, you will see the alert with the amount of like users who got those permissions or licenses assigned. But more importantly, in case of the problems, there would be more details available. Exactly. So the Salesforce admin will be able to identify which users actually didn't get the license or permission set assigned.
And it's also nice if you have large environment, you can see when you hit that assign button, you don't know, previous you didn't know when the job is done. So now you can see immediately, now the job is done. And when we're talking about those alerts, now you can find under the settings, kind of the setting, how long you can kind of store those alerts. So previous we had a settings with how long you would like to store file events and URL events, and now you can kind of set it up how long you would like to store those alerts as well.
Yeah, and the intervals might be different, because for some customers it might be a compliance requirement to store the alerts for longer than the scan events. So now the settings can be changed that the scan events can be basically stored maybe for several weeks. But if for compliance reasons you need to store alerts for longer time, then it's possible to set the retention interval even up to 2 years.
Exactly, yeah. And now it's actually easier to kind of restore large number of quarantine files. Most of the time that's not the case, but we have had some cases where customer need to restore a large amount of files, and now we have improved that as well. You can also configure the patch size when you're doing those manual and scheduled scanning as well. There's also some improvements about platform cache. You would like
to... This is maybe like hidden improvement that you might not really see. There is no user interface for that. But the platform cache is a new capabilities in the Salesforce platform, and that's actually the reason why we decided to drop support for professional edition. That unfortunately platform cache is not available in that particular edition. But we started using the platform cache for optimizing our scanning logic. The platform cache in the concept way is very simple. So those data that we retrieve pretty frequently from Salesforce, we cache them for a period of time, and that actually improves the general performance, and it also reduces the number of so-called queries. At least Salesforce professionals should be basically familiar with that problem. So with the platform cache, we are now definitely improving our performance a bit, but we will continue using platform cache for other use cases. Important thing to mention here that you should not be worried about extra licenses, because some Salesforce admins will immediately start wondering if they need to buy extra licenses from Salesforce regarding the platform cache. Rest assured that you don't need to do anything again, because our application comes with so-called free option for the ISV partners. We as an ISV partner, we decided to take this free option for our needs, so it comes automatically with our package. And even if you are not using platform cache in your organization, it will come with our application, and then you don't need to buy extra licenses from Salesforce.
Yes. Few other kind of updates as well, or improvements. You can see the kind of the full version number nowadays in our solution. You don't need to go to the installation packages and check what is the full version number. And also we have added some languages there as well. But I think that about it. Now we can start doing those Q&A. There are some few kind of important links, so you can pick it up those from there. But do we have more questions from customers? And if you have any questions, you have still time to write it down those to us.
Yeah, there is one question probably related to automatic updates, or maybe in general. The question is, what about Salesforce release preview phase? Are there WithSecure version differences between on Salesforce instance version during the preview phase of 4 weeks? Maybe I don't understand the question in full details, but I had explained that we definitely follow the Salesforce platform release cycle. So we also do internal validation, and we have our own dedicated release preview organization where we check our application with the upcoming Salesforce platform updates. Fortunately, as of today, we don't have that much dependencies on the new features of the Salesforce platform, so we don't have this strict kind of relationship or dependency on the Salesforce platform updates. But obviously, if we actually see some problems with compatibility with the platform, then we will make a new release of our application, and then that will be synced with the Salesforce platform updates. So we will probably publish our application early, then the Salesforce starts rolling out the platform updates to their customers. So, but as of today, at least, we don't have this kind of dependency, and then you can also decide yourself whether you install the new version before the Salesforce platform update or afterwards.
Exactly. Do we have any other questions there?
There is another question, but then I'm not sure if we are an expert to answer it. It's about the licenses and probably pricing. So the full question goes like this: is there a price difference between WithSecure license for standard versus partner users? So if I get this question right, it's about what kind of license types we have and what the price is about it. So like I said, that we have 3 versions of 3 different license types. So standard, community, and then community login user license. Obviously, they come with the different prices. I assume that these partner users in the question, it's probably Salesforce partner users, and then it's probably relevant to the experience or community cloud. So in this context, the partner user would be mapped to the community login or community user license.
Yeah.
So I hope that I answered that question. If not, please reach us and then we will clarify it. Or you can also contact your sales account manager for further clarifications.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't see any questions in the chat box. As Anssi said, that of course, please come and check the materials that we will share with you. My personal advice, please join our community, because now we got a dedicated solution area at WithSecure community site. There we will at least try to interact more and frequently and even more directly with customers and partners. Of course, if you have any problems, feel free to contact our customer support, but the community space is monitored by product management and engineering teams. You can also raise any questions related to existing functionality. If you have any needs for future, please also go and ask anything on the community side.
Yeah, and you can always send feedback for us. And if you have anything, like if you want to see some kind of new features or improvements in our solution, we are more than happy to hear those as well.
Yes.
Great. I think that was the last slide. If you don't have any new questions, then we're going to say that thank you, everybody. Have a nice day and see you somewhere in the future.
Yeah, thank you on my behalf and looking forward to speaking to you again.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.